Stan Gibilisco here, proprietor and operator of amateur radio station W1GV Whiskey 1 Good Vibrations. I remember my first field day. I was reminiscing about that this afternoon. It was in 1967. I would have been 13 years old in June of 1967. And the radio station that I operated from was W0MXW, W0 Mike X-Ray Whiskey from Rochester, Minnesota. There were two trailers out on a farm somewhere west of Rochester, one of them for the CW station and one of them for the single sideband or phone station. Well, the CW station was pretty much dominated by one fellow who claimed to be able to go 45 words a minute. But I don't doubt it. But not on field day, you wouldn't go an average speed of 45 words a minute. You would certainly not do that. In almost any contest, people that have to ask you for repeats and it'd end up taking you longer than it would if you went at a slower speed, like the speed that I have settled on, 18 words a minute. I only have to send stuff once, generally speaking, in a contest when I'm going 18 words a minute. But this contest, that was all irrelevant. It was all done by this one guy pretty much. And so I operated phone, single sideband, for maybe 3 hours during that field day. And Ned Carmen, W0ZSW, Whiskey 0 Zulu Sierra Whiskey, now passed on to a higher ham radio universe, taught me how to really speak with force and emphasis, use the correct phonetics. I believe at that time we didn't say whiskey for W, we said William, but whatever. We would say CQ field day, CQ field day, CQ field day. This is W0MXW Whiskey 0 Mike X-Ray Whiskey. Calling CQ field day and standing by. And that's what we did when we wanted to dominate a frequency. Of course, when you couldn't dominate a frequency, you would call other stations who usually were running dominant roles, the ones who had the amplifiers and the huge antennas and the power complex, those kind of guys. We were sort of in the middle. I think we just ran barefoot transceivers such as I think at that time the Drake TR4 was in existence in 1967. It was a commonly used transceiver. But I operated single sideband, otherwise known as phone, and had a pretty good time. It was only a little while, though, before I discovered that CW was my mode, was my way to go, and like water settling to its own level, I became a CW operator and never operated phone at field day again. I was always the CW man after 1967 until I went away to various other parts of the world and sort of didn't do field day anymore. That was a Rochester, Minnesota thing. That was a hometown boy thing. Doesn't seem like sometimes I go down to my nerd cave now and do a little CW field day just for fun. You have to have I believe now the signal report is how many operators in what class of station. For example, 1A would be portable, one operator. 5C or 5D or 5E, 5 operators, different things. You might be portable. You might be portable on a generator or portable solar power or battery power, whatever. The exchange is a number like that. So we would say like maybe Whiskey 0, Mike X-ray Whiskey, 2A, Minnesota, 2 Alpha Minnesota, over. And that was that exchange. The other gal had sent their data. And we yammered and screamed into those microphones for about 24 hours. And had good barbecued hamburgers. That was a must. There were a few field days, though, that were kind of rained out. A couple of times we had pretty violent electrical storms and had to shut the stations down for fear that we, rather than the hamburgers, would be barbecued. You have to exercise a little sanity, even when you're a ham radio operator at field day. And we did. Stan Gibilisco, W1GV, saying 73. And so long, which, in my native fist, even on field day, well, no, not on a contest, not in a contest, but in most circumstances it would translate to da-da-da-da-da-da.